Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Victory Lap of Lothric. We have one last fight before we can set the lords upon their thrones. We must fight the Twincest brothers of Lothric.
Oh dear. Another dogged contender. Welcome, unkindled one, purloiner of cinders. Mind you, the mantle of Lord interests me none. The fire-linking curse, the legacy of lords, let it all fade into nothing. You've done quite enough. Now have your rest.
I love this boss fight. I hate the teleporting, but I fucking love this boss fight. I love the build up. I love his little speech. I love everything about this fight. Alright, let's get some buffs on. Oh, fuck me. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah. Okay, I don't like everything about this boss fight. I don't like the teleporting. Right. It's one of those ones you have to get into a rhythm. Here we go. Phase 2.
Oh, dear brother, I'm on my way. My brother, unyielding sword of Lothric's prince. Rise if you would, for that is our curse.
Still, to this day, I get shivers. I love it. I fucking love it. I love this game. Rise if you would, for that is our curse. That sums up Dark Souls in a fucking nutshell. If you want to take note of Prince Lothric and his rather odd, gangly, pointy fingers, not unlike that. Maybe he is a product of his father's experiments, because we know Osiris dabbled with, you know, becoming a dragon and whatnot. Maybe he is a product of his father's experiments. And if you want to have another little lore point, the spells that Lothric uses are very similar. Oh, shitty bollocks! Are very similar to those that Aldrich uses. He has the like crystal soul. I'm not even embered. Fucking Christ! Ooh, pissy bollocks! He uses the soul spear, and he uses the little orbs. Right? Can I please ember up? Yes, nice. I'm not playing particularly well. I've had a few lagers. Alright. It's kind of a crapshoot whether you'll be able to see him when he teleports. And that's what I don't like about this fight. Once you can get him one-on-one, and he doesn't start teleporting, then his attacks are pretty easy to dodge. You just got to watch his stamina. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so difficult to tell where he's coming from when he teleports, which is what I don't like about this fight. It becomes a bit of a crapshoot. Right, here we go.
Dear brother.
Alright, we got him on the ropes now. Dead.
My words, Ash One. You remain among the accursed.
So we receive the cinders of a lord, our final lord on our quest, and the soul of the twin princes. So let's give that a read, shall we? Cinders of a lord left by Prince Lothric. Interesting, he's the only Lord of Cinder who hasn't actually linked the fire yet. Aldrich, Yorm, and the Abyss Watchers have all linked the fire in a previous age, however Lothric has not. He was destined to become a lord but refused. And he saw the futility of the constant linking of the fire in that whole debacle, and he just wanted to say, you know what, fuck this, I'm just going to let it all fade to nothing, which is a sentiment I think I can get on board with, really. If the lords will not return to their thrones themselves and let them return as cinders. The Lothric bloodline was obsessed with creating a worthy heir, and when this proved impossible, resorted to unspeakable means. Suffice to say, the path to linking the fire is a cursed one indeed. So that may play into what I was saying earlier about maybe Lothric. Prince Lothric is a product of his father's experiments when trying to create a worthy heir to link the flame, because we know Lothric is sickly and thin and weak, unlike his brother Lorien, who was complete opposite. So yes, indeed, suffice to say, the path to linking the fire is a cursed one indeed. I wonder what those unspeakable means is it because he was created through inhuman experimentation. Who knows? Right, let's have a look at the Twin Prince's soul. Used to acquire numerous souls, blah blah blah. The two princes rejected their duty to become Lords of Cinder, so this implies that they were both destined to become Lords of Cinder. Maybe that was Osiris dabbled in creating, worthy heirs, came to Lorien and then to Lothric. They were both destined, but they both failed. They both weren't able, they weren't up to the task, or they weren't strong enough, or whatever. And settled down far, far away to watch the fire fade from a distance. A curse makes their souls nearly inseparable. Nearly inseparable, but not entirely inseparable. As we know, little Lilith can do it. We can separate the souls to get their two unique weapons, and then fuse them back together to get the Twin Prince's sword. Indeed. Right. So let's head back to Firelink now. Take note, actually, before we leave. All the feathers that litter the ground. All of these feathers. What fresh hell. Who produced them, and why are they here? We find feathers in Gertrude's bird cage up at the top of the archives. Are they related? Were these made by were these from Gertrude? Or these... I don't know, is Lothric... Does Lothric have feathers? Who the fuck knows? But just take note. Think about that. Always think about it. So now we've returned back. I completely forgot to show you actually. If I had embered up before I'd entered the boss fight, you could have summoned both Cirrus and Orbeck for that fight. Not advisable in the slightest. They would make the fight incredibly difficult, and they would just end up dying and leaving the boss with a massive health pool. Alright, we need to say our final fond farewell to Cirrus. So I'd wait. I'll meet you out there once the fog door is abated. So now Cirrus has fulfilled her duty to both her family and to us, and she has finally died here on what looks like outside of a very specific grave. I am led to believe that this is probably the grave of her grandmother, as we find Hodric's shield leant up against it, as well as where Cirrus has died. It could be Hodric's grave, but I doubt it since this grave is here at the beginning of the game. So it could be this is where Cirrus's grandmother is buried. This is where the shrine handmaid picked up the bouquet and sold it to you, and this is where she dies finally after completing her quest to kill her mad grandfather. So let's give all that stuff a read, shall we? So we got our talisman. The Sunless Talisman. Talisman given to the kingdom of the Sunless Realms who serve the nameless moon. Scales with intelligence, which is rare for a miracle catalyst, but makes it compatible with the dark. In the Sunless Realms, this fact is related first as an initial warning. Interesting lore tidbits there when they're talking about the Sunless Realms. God, who knows? I mean, given that Hodric is carrying the Mirror Shield, the Sunset Shield, which is the Mirror Shield from the Knights of Mirror. Is that what Mirror has become? It's become the Sunless Realms. And the links between Cirrus, the Sunless Realms, and the Blades of the Dark Moon are like... She has Blade of the Dark Moon, the Miracle. Fucking who knows, man? Who knows? Shield of the Holy Knights of the Sunless Realms, and honestly, I'm going to say that's Mirror. Like, it has to be. Engraved with the brilliant flame crest that burns brightly with the Order's customary sunset colours. The design symbolises those who both harbour and oppose the power of flame. Very interesting stuff. So Cirrus's quest has ended here. And, you know, all that... You know, she really didn't like Rosaria's fingers, and she spent her whole life trying to fight the scourge of Rosaria's fingers. And now that she's dead, I think we can finally... give her a giant middle finger and join Rosaria's fingers now that her quest is over. So we return to the Cathedral of the Deep, and there's a grub person here. And if you pay attention, so we have this grub person, they are non-hostile. However, we can no longer sit at the bonfire. We are unable to sit at the bonfire. That means there's an enemy or an invader close by. Either an invader in the world when you're sitting above bonfire, or an enemy is too close. So, and this gives us Hazel's pick and the Xanthus crown. So poor Yellowfinger Hazel she rebirthed too many times and was turned into a grub person. Oh, poor Hazel. So we can now reset at the bonfire. Right. Oh, Rosaria, Mother of Rebirth. I have a gift for you. Come on. There we go. Right. I'm going to reallocate my attributes. I haven't got enough pale tongues to get any rewards yet. But I'll tell you what, let's offer one. And that will kick off Leonhard's quest. Because as we walk away, he'll be waiting by the door.
Ah, so you've chosen to serve Rosaria after all. She will be pleased with me for finding her another finger. But be warned, my friend. Rosaria's fingers need only fetch tongues for their mistress. Otherwise, we are free, unchained. Like Yellowfinger, you can choose to believe that all fingers share camaraderie. But do not force your romance upon the rest of us.
I think a lot of invaders forget that sometimes. Like, fucking... I agree that I feel that you should always work with your fellow invader, especially if you're going to be working with another invader in an active invasion, you're going up against someone who is dried-fingered, who is actively looking for invaders to come into their world. So working with your fellow invader is going to give you the best chance of victory. However, like Leonhard says right there, you know, Hazel may think we are all comrades and share a common interest. However, do not force your romance upon the rest of us. So, if you want to be that guy, you go right ahead. I won't like you for it, and I will actively try to kill you. But, you know, you are free, unchained, as he says.
Rosaria's fingers need only fetch tongue. Otherwise, you are free to put it off.
Indeed. Very good. Right, so... that has triggered Leonhard's quest, so once we come back to Rosaria, she will be dead. And she will have left an eye orb in her place. Well, her body will still be here, and there'll be a black eye orb in her place that we can pick up, and we can go and complete Leonhard's quest. I'm not going to do that just yet. Instead, what I'm going to do, the lords must sit upon their thrones. If they do not return to their thrones, let them return as cinders. So, let's do this. Aldrich, devourer of gods. The Abyss Watchers of Farron. Lonely Yorm of the profane capital. And Holy Prince Lothric, last hope of his line. And as we set the lords upon their thrones, the Firekeeper moves towards the centre of the shrine.
The 5 lords sit their 5 thrones, all thanks to thee, most worthy of lords. Ashen One, with the lords as thy witness, bend thy knee afore the bonfire's coiled sword, and let the lords' embers acknowledge thee as their true heir, a true lord, fit to link the fire. Farewell, Ashen One. Mayst thou thy peace discover.
So, once we kneel before the bonfire's coiled sword, the lords will impart their strength and their flame to us, and we will become a vessel for their will to link the fire.
Noble lords of Cinder, the fire fades. And the lords go without thrones. Surrender your fires to the true heir. Let her grant death to the old gods of Lordran, deliverers of the first flame.
I find it hard to describe how that made me feel the first time I heard that. Let her grant death to the old gods of Lordran, deliverers of the first flame. Goddamn, man. The waves of nostalgia for Dark Souls 1 just came crashing over me in that moment. So we're delivered here to Firelink's Shrine. What we can assume to be far in the future. The fire has faded to naught, to all but nothing, and all the lands had fully converged together. As we can see, the dark sign in the sky that was visible in Lothric has become so very visible as a prominent mark on the landscape. And we can see everything has converged together onto Lothric. Absolutely everything. All the as I said before, all the lands were converging on Lothric, and this is what happens at the apex, right before the first flame fades out for good. Absolutely everything. It's incredible. I mean, look at it. I mean, Dreg Heap, as we will soon find out this place is called, is still inhabited by people, hollows and the like. And you can actually see, is that the kiln there? No, that can't be. Maybe it is. It looks like that's the pathway up to the kiln of the first flame. Fascinating. Notice as well, like that's part of the tree. And as we know from Dark Souls 1, the kiln of the first flame was located sort of at the bottom of a deep tree near the base of the world. Fantastic. Visions of jumping, try finger. Indeed. I love this area. So short, but so incredibly beautiful. So we can sit at this bonfire to proceed to the first flame. Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've still got plenty left to do. The Ring City awaits us, and we got to do some shit there. We got bosses to kill, and we got some invaders to fucking kill as well. So, boys and girls, I hope you will join me this Saturday, 9 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, as I will complete my playthrough of Dark Souls 3 by going through the Ring City. I hope you will come and join me then. Come and invade me. Come and try and gank me. I fucking dare you. So, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you this Saturday. Cheerio.